Dipping seashells in acid is such a satisfying experience. Watching that outer layer of the calcium dissolve away, revealing those intricate patterns and textures beneath, is like watching magic happen right in front of your eyes. My name is Charmin, and I have a beachcombing YouTube channel, so at any time I tend to have seashells that need some cleaning. I stockpile the shells that need to be dipped in acid, and then I do them all at the same time. Today, we're going to dip all those shells. I'm going to tell you how I safely and economically go about turning these beautiful yet slightly muted colored seashells into bright, beautiful, gorgeous pieces of beach art. So if you're ready to see how awesome these seashells are going to look, let's dip some shells. Okay, so the equipment you are going to need today is Acid Magic. I use a mason jar with a big lid so I can get all of the seashells in and out with no problem. I close it up and I use it over and over and over until I dispose of it. Hang around to the end of the video because we will dispose of the acid and I'll show you the exact process that I use. We're going to have a bucket of water and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of baking soda into the bucket of water because that will neutralize the burning of the acid. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these tongs. I don't have to. I could just use my hands and literally dip this into the acid. I'm not going to do that. I can. I showed that in a previous video and I just don't want to soak any more chemicals into my body than I need to. But I love it because it's safe. Now the other piece of equipment that I do use are these glasses. So I do protect my eyes. If you are using muriatic acid, you're going to want to use gloves. I don't need to do that because we're using the Acid Magic. And like I said, we're going to go through and dip these into the magic. It will burn, or into the acid, it will burn that outer layer. So there's just a very thin layer of calcium on the seashells. And that's basically what we're doing. We're going to burn that layer off. Now, I'm going to try something different this time. This guy, I think it's this one. You see there's a little bit of shine. This opening is called the aperture, and there's a little bit of shine. I'm going to protect that. I'm going to try to put a little bit of petroleum jelly on that when I dip this into the acid, and then we'll just see if that works. We'll see if that petroleum jelly will actually protect that. If it doesn't, it is what it is. It's okay. I do love a good experiment. So at this point, and I think I'm going to start dipping, I will try to leave the shells. Like I'm going to leave the cones here. I'll dip and then put them in the water and then it goes back here. But basically, I'm just going to kind of go through this and show you kind of like the before and afters. It's so fun dipping these. It's like magic. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to start with the cones and I'll just show you the before and after. And then I'll stop if I think there's any pertinent information I need to give you. Forgot to mention, I use it at 100% strength. So I take this, pop it in there, done. I do not mix it with water or anything. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, now I'm going to dip some seashells. Now the one other thing I will say is it's a little deceiving because water will also kind of temporarily make it look like that that calcium layer is gone. Actually, let's do something fun. These are really fun. All right, so I'm going to take this. So that's an apple murex. I mean, it's fine, but just wait. About 3 seconds or so. Look at that. I love that transformation. Oh, it's so fun. And it's easy to tell. I mean, well, for me, it really feels like that shell really kind of sticks out compared to the other ones. All right, so let's keep it going. This one's not too bad, but I still think it'll look lovely after a dip. remember the first time I did this? Oh my gosh, it was so fun. But for me, it was scary. I don't know about you. I was intimidated by using acid. I mean, acid just sounds so scary, but you get used to it. I still be careful. I mean, but it wasn't as terrifying as I really thought it was going to be. But I feel so much better with this acid magic. Look at that. So if I do happen to accidentally splash it, I mean, look at, you can see the ones that I've dipped. This one and that, you can just tell they just pop. Oh, so pretty. So yeah, so that's why I really, really like this acid magic, and it's economical. It's really not expensive. So that's the other part that makes me really, really happy. I think I was talking too long. I dipped that one for a minute. So that acid magic, that's what it's doing. It's just burning that outside layer off. So you know what? Let's real quick. I'm going to go ahead and treat. Let's do that one. I'm going to mess with the aperture. Is this? Yeah. Let me get my petroleum jelly, and well, let's experiment. So just quickly before I dip it, we can really get a good look at that aperture. So that's what I'm going to coat, that shiny area. I'm going to coat that with the petroleum jelly, and then I'm going to dip that in. All right. Here goes nothing. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I took a Q-tip and I just kind of lightly painted some petroleum jelly on the aperture of this. Now this is going to be so fun. This is going to look fantastic. Just kind of worried about the aperture. So let's see what happens. I'll get that in. 1, 2, 3. I also tried to hold it so that the acid would not kind of fill in. Let's get that. So I got that and the baking soda going in the, look at that. Wow. All right. I don't know what happened to the aperture. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. So I'll dip some more and I'll show you some of these good before and afters. Oh, that's so satisfying. Okay, so all the Murex are done. Next, turkey wings. Those are really fabulous before and afters too. So let's do a couple more before and afters of these turkey wings. All right, and that concludes the turkey wings. That was pretty quick. Oh, I do like them. Okay. Bay scallops. Oh, they come out really good. I'm actually really excited about these nutmegs too. They're going to come out good. All right, bay scallop. This one, watch this. Okay, ready? Isn't that awesome? Oh, I remember I flipped the first time I did this. Oh, it's so satisfying. Okay. Do this one. And sometimes, especially with these bay scallops, a color will be revealed that I didn't even realize was there. Like I didn't really realize that that one was kind of bluish black underneath. Very cool. Let's do, I know that this one's really dark anyway. Let's do this one. I wanted to dip this guy because the top has got a little bit of that, little bit of white on it. So we're going to dip this nutmeg. And so that white gone. It's kind of harsh, it's burned away, but that's what makes the shells pretty. Another nutmeg. Oh, P.S. If you were ever going to, like if you were a serious shell collector, you would not put your shells anywhere near any kind of chemical, or you would not be doing this. This is more for us. You know, am I a serious collector? Yeah, I seriously love seashells, but you know, I don't need to have specimen quality of everything. I have plenty of really great examples. This is just really fun for me. I really like kind of cleaning these nutmegs. That one is weird. That's all right. That's just got a white spot on it. That's not going to come off. Oops. Let's see. Okay, that's just the way the shell is colored. It just kind of looked. It's just neat. I bet you I got that on Kais. I just bet you. Okay. We're going to do some more before and afters of these nutmegs. Okay, all the nutmegs done. I think I'm gonna move into the crowns. The crowns are always really fun. So we're gonna, all right, so we're gonna, now we're gonna move into the crowns and I'll show you the before and afters. This is the one I just found on Fort Myers Beach not too long ago. I had commented on that extra row of spikes. And just in case you are not one of my regular viewers, I do encourage you to subscribe to my beachcombing channel. I do go shelling every week and I share a new shelling adventure every Sunday. So why don't we go ahead and see how this crown conch is gonna look. We'll get this into the acid. So before and after. Trying to decide if that's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna keep dipping before. Okay, so the crowns are done. Now, actually, I kind of want to get into the tinies. All right, so let's dip some top snails. Now you can actually see the color of those top snails. They're not a whitish color. Sometimes they're kind of red. They're so pretty. So now I'm going to dip these two tiny, itty bitty little rib cantharus shells. I'll warn you, I don't want to drop them. So I'm going to be really careful, make sure I have a good grip on these. So kind of take it, do a couple of shakes, make sure I have a good grip on it. Get it in. They're tiny little bubbles, tiny little shell. Get it out. It's so pretty. So that's the one. Now I'm going to do this other guy. Get a good grip on it. Now let's do the before. There. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's do. This one's missing its tail. It's a rose murex. Still gonna dip it. It's missing its little tail. Let's get little rose murex now. Oh, it's so pretty. And then we're gonna do this one. This one does have its little tail. And again, like if you were gonna try to enter this into a, I don't know, a shell show or something, you would not want to be dipping your shells. But this, I'm just doing this for fun, for funsies. Oh, it's so pretty. Yep, so pretty. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more. Oh, we have another bay scallop. We know how fun those are. Let's see. After. All right, so now let's do lightning whelks. All right, I'm going to show you before and after of some of those fine shells. Okay, lightning whelks all done. We're going to take care of the lace murex next. And again, I'll just kind of quickly show you before and after of what's going on. The transformation, yeah, these look pretty good. These will be pretty good. Oh, they came out so good. A lot of them, some of that the brown that was underneath it, you couldn't see. You don't have to dip them. They were fine. But again, I just kind of like playing and cleaning with shells. All right, I'm going to do these two real quick. Probably won't be too much of a transformation. This one isn't really bad at all, but there's before. There's the after. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I guess especially if you put it next to this one. So we're going to get the colors on this one to really pop. And yeah, now we can see. Okay, I'm going to do horse conchs. I'm going to show you before and after of these horse conchs. I remember this shell. This particular one was one of those mystery, let's see how good it can clean up kind of a shell. And I've just been hanging around. I stockpile my shells for dipping in acid. As you can tell, I put them all to the side. What I'll do with my bleach is I usually typically do, as soon as I'm done shooting them, I will shoot them for the end of the video, and then I take care of soaking them in bleach. And then once the bleach is done, they're either done or they get set to the side to dip in acid. So not everything gets bleach and acid. Not everything gets acid. It just depends. Plus, oh dear, it just kind of depends on what your preference is. After. So some of these are a little more fun than others. All right, I'm going to be real careful. I do want to hold on to that. So here's an itty bitty horse conch. It's going to be that like bright red, that bright rose murex color. Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm living on the edge here, because if I drop that, it's, there it is. And this, I don't know, why is it white? Okay, so there's our before. Oh, maybe it's a little yellow. Let's see. Nah, not really. Maybe, no, it's a little yellow, isn't it? A little bit of yellow there. Okay, horse conchs are done. Yay, we're getting somewhere, or I'm getting somewhere. Okay, the audio at this point got a little weird. It was a little bit windy. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm going to go through a whole bunch of those before and afters. So did the work, did all the explaining. Now let's just do the fun stuff. Okay, remember the little experiment we were going to do with that apple murex? Look at the aperture, it's still shiny. So, if you wanted to protect an area of a shell, I'm a little bit nuts. So I kind of like certain things with the shells. So if you wanted to have this really cool, brightly colored apple murex, but keep a little bit of that aperture still shiny the way it naturally shiny, just yeah, dab a little bit of petroleum jelly before you put it into the acid. It works. Woohoo! Very cool. Now, playing with the acid is really fun, but what happens when you need to dispose of it? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. First of all, please do this outside. This is messy. This is acid. It can really play havoc with things around your household. So I find a container that I can hold as much water as possible, like the spackle bucket, for example. So what I'm going to do next is take the acid in my mason jar and pour that acid into the spackle bucket water. You always add acid to water. I realize we're working with a safe acid and the splashing might not be as, catastrophic if it was hydrochloric acid or muriatic acid, but just from a safety standpoint, always add acid to water. So now that the acid has been poured from my mason jar into the spackle bucket, I'm going to neutralize it. What you do to neutralize it is you add a base to the acid, and then that neutralizes it. It creates water and salt. Now, the baking soda is the base. I'm going to add it gently to the bucket of acid and water. If you add too much too quickly, you can have it kind of boil up like that. Luckily, I had enough room in the bucket. So it takes a little minute, it takes a little bit of time. You're going to just keep doing this over and over and over. And then eventually the water will stop reacting. At that point, it has been neutralized. And then what I do is I pour it somewhere in my yard where I don't plan on growing anything. They say you can pour it down your pipes, but that's not what I do. So thank you so much. I had a great time dipping my shells, as I always do. I love seeing that transformation. It's highly possible some of these shells might end up in my Etsy store, so don't be shy about popping over there and seeing what might be for sale. So thank you again. There is a link in the description box below if you would like to buy your acid magic. I hope you have a fabulous night, and I will see you on Sunday.